So I bought this book at a local antique store a while back. It's from 1926. It's a pretty cool book. Story of the talking machine, story of Panama Canal. It has all sorts of little scientific nitbits from the 20s. Yeah, so I thought it was pretty cool. But inside the front cover, I discovered something, and it was this. This is really, really cool. So there's an envelope, a letter that was presumably in the envelope, and a postcard. These are really interesting. So we dated them based on the stamps and the stamp mark to 1939. We weren't sure because, I mean, that's not a very clear 9 by any stretch of the imagination. So we weren't sure if it was, also, if that was a 3 or a 6. Oh, no, wait, that is a 3. Okay, anyways. So we did look up the stamps, and we also looked up some things in the letter gave us clues to the year. So basically, it's written in French. It's a lady who's presumably on a trip. Opens up like that. Okay, wait, let me... Why isn't it focusing? There, okay. So, cher Frédéric, j'ai reçu avec grand plaisir la lettre du mois d'avril. La même sera something... Okay, so anyways, she goes on. Basically what she talks about is that she lives in France, presumably, but this lady, whose name is Mathilde, is on a trip. Oh yeah, you can see here, 1939. Is on a trip around the world. She's left her house in France, and she's on a trip around the world, by steamer, of course. And she invites Frederick to take a trip to the New York World Fair. That's the hint that told me it was 1939, because the World Fair was in New York City in 1939. Because she's just visited it, and now she's gone down to the coast of Florida, and then she moved on to Rio de Janeiro and Buenos Aires. So she's going on a really long and expensive tour for a French woman in 1939. What's interesting is that the letter is addressed to Monsieur Frederick Odaf, to the care of the Bank of Montreal, head office, St. James Street, Montreal. So this guy's fairly high up in the Bank of Montreal, which kind of explains where Mathilde's getting all her money. I don't know what kind of relationship, if they're brother, sister, what. And what also makes this interesting is, oh yeah, she also talks in the letter about donating to an orphanage, so she has a lot of spare cash. This is another interesting thing. Chateau Lafite is now a winemaking property in France. It was a Rothschild property in 1939 anyways. The Rothschilds are the richest family in the world. They own an immense amount of land and assets in Europe. They profited off of both sides of World War I and II, and all the wars before that. They're immensely wealthy. So this letter basically says that she visited this place, and that the basement was flooded, and she says here that it has all the modern comforts, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. So I don't know what connection she has with this place, but I mean, to be invited to a Rothschild house in the 1930s, well, especially 1939, you could probably see why. I mean, this is dated to September, so you could see why she left on a world tour of why she left on a world tour, because at that point Germany was starting to invade places that might have seemed like a risk, especially since, well, I don't know if she is a Rothschild. I don't think so. It doesn't say anywhere. But if she was, that would I mean, her wealth and status would probably protect her, but that would mean she's Jewish, so that might be a good time to get out of Europe. Anyways, that's what I found. Don't know who these people are, but that's really interesting. It's the most interesting thing I've ever found in a book.